Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the CodeCracker. Today we are cracking a open super important topic C++ access specifier. This little keyword control who can see, use the member of class, stick around it because of by the end of this video, you will understand how properly protected your C++ classes. In this video, we are going to focus on the access specifier, why we use access specifier, and how to use access specifier with the code example. Let's start this video without wasting any time. Let's first of all, I introduce you with the access specifier definition. What is access specifier definition? You're seeing the access specifier definition in your screen. Access specifier in C++ define how the member variables and function of a class can be accessed. Basically, in C++, access specifier are used to define the access level of a class members, like variables and function. Access specifiers specifier allow the permissions to the variables and functions that we are using in the class, or at the what position the variables and function should be accessed, at what position it cannot be accessed. That's why we use access specifier. For its class members are the those member like variables and function inside the class is known as a members. If I is known as members. There are three major types of access specifier are public and private and protected. These three types of access specifier have a different purpose. Let's break down these three types of access specifier. First, that is public access specifier. Public access specifier is accessible that can be accessible from anywhere from the code outside the class and also inside the class. It can be accessed from anywhere. A member are accessible from anywhere in the program used when you want your class member to access openly. Basically, it means if a class member is declared a public, it means anyone can access it, other class functions or even a main function also. You can see there is example class and there is public that is known as access specifier. How we can use access specifier? Just first of all, we write the name of the access specifier, that what kind of access specifier we are going to use in this class. This is a public, and now after this we write the whole functions and the whole variable uh, after the public access specifier. That means that this variable x can be accessed inside the class also, and it can also access outside the class, that is main function, and it can be also accessed in the different classes. It has been declared publicly in the whole program. We can access it through whole program. That's why we use a public specifier that allow the permission that we can access it from anywhere in the code. And the next type is private access specifier. This is this allow the limitation to the variables. Members are accessible only within a same class. Default access specifier per class member. Like when we are not using any type of access specifier, the program should automatically detect this is the access specifier is a private. So what is a private access specifier? When a member is private, it's hidden from outside the words. Only the class on function can access. Only the class and its own function can access the specifier. It cannot be accessed outside the class. It cannot be accessed through the main function. It can be only accessed through the class at which class it has been used. It cannot access outside the class. And this private accessifier, when we are using a C plus program, then first of all, we are creating a class. If we don't define any type of accessifier, the program automatically choose the private accessifier as a default access specifier. It's mean whenever we didn't mention any type of specifiers in the after the class, it's mean it is the default accessifier is private, so it will take it as a private. First of all, like I have created the class with using a class keywords and the my class, and that then is the name of my class. And then I define the access specifier that is private. So mean this the variable, the function that we are going to use in the class should be private, not either than publics are protected. This is the private access specifier. Now move toward the public access specifier. I'm just going to make it more understandable and in using easy words so you can understand how access specifier works in the program. Uh, let's let I tell you my secret. Um Private, we can't access it directly. We cannot access it directly. Instead of we use a public method like a set a secret and get a secret to interact with it. We can use a public method. We can initialize the private access required inside the public functions that can we can access the private members, private access requires private variables outside the class. Also, when we use a different when you declare a function and the pub function as a published, so that will be accessed outside the class also. Now, this third and the last is the access specifier that is a protected access specifier. Basically, members are accessible within a same class and by drive class. The first thing that commonly rises, what is a drive class? Basically, drive class is known as a child class. That can be a child class is a sub part of a class, like animal. Animal we and what means animal? Like in animal there are different kinds of animal like reptiles and birds are different types of animal, but it has a major classes animal, and the subclasses should be the types of animal. It's similar to the this drive class. What is a drive class? Basically, drive class is known as a major class that is a major of every classes, and drive class is known as child class also. It is a derived class that is a sub part of a class, is a subclass of a major class that is known as a uh, drive class. Let's understand what is a protected accessifier. Protected accessifier is also work like a private accessifier, but the main difference in this access specifier is that we can access it through the child class, but we cannot access it outside the class, and we cannot access it outside the inside the main function without using a child class. For example, in this example, there is a my class. I created the class with the name of my class. Then we defined which specifier we are going to use is a protected. It means that it can be accessed through the drive class, not uh, outside the class. It can only access through the child class. Child class is known as drive class also. Let me write here. Drive class is also known as child class. Keep in your mind whenever someone asks what is child class, it's basically mean a drive class. Like drive class, child class is a sub part of a major class. Like animal is the major class, and the types of animal is the subclass. Is known as drive class, and this class is known as a major class. Basically, we created the variable that is my class, and then we defined the specifier that is protected, and then we initialize the variable x that it can be accessed inside the major class also, and it can be accessed outside the child class, but not outside the other classes are not outside the main functions. This is a full example of this is a full example of all access specifiers that we discussed in this video. Let's run this access specifier in the form of code. Let's move to the code. First of all, I will copy this whole code from here. Then I will paste in my Dev C++. This is our code part. Now we are going to discuss about the code of all typable specifier in the form of code with a code example that will help you to understand the access specifier in a simple and easy way. So first of all, uh, the hashtag include iostream using namespace std we do always in our code. So simply that this is a major part of our code. Without it, we cannot perform any input and output operations that I told you in a previous video. So I'm not going to explain here. And the second thing is that we have using a class. This class keyword is used to identify that we are using a class in this program. And first of all, we declare the name, the keyword that is class. After that, we are giving this class name that is my class. I will give it a my class. You can give any name you want. Then we're using a types of accessifier. First of all, we're using a public accessifier to understand how it is work. Public accessifier can be accessed outside the class. We can access it from outside the class also. and inside the class also. Then we're using a private access as well. Basically, what it is doing, the private access as well, we cannot access it outside the class, but we can access it inside the class. And Protected access specifier, we cannot access it outside the class and cannot access in the main function, but we can access it inside the class and also inside the derived class known as a child class also. After this, we initialize all the variable and giving the variable ABC to it. And then we are creating this class. What type of this class? This is a derived class that I told you that, and the protected method we can access through the derived class. And simply, yes, using the derived class, how we can create a derived class, how we can create a child class. Child and derived class similar meaning. First of all, we use a keyword that is class. Then we give the name of our first. Keep remembering this in your mind. First of all, we have to give a child class name, derived class name. So simply, I give it a child. Then after that, we have to use this colons. After using this colon, and then we have to identify the major class, the main class, that is my class. I want to make this subclass of my class, that is child. Then we have create this major class as a public. We have to create that class as a public, so we can access this class inside the child class. And then identify this. Then we have to and move. Then we move inside this child class. I'm giving it a public access profile, so we can access this someone outside the class also. So just what we are going to do, we are going to sum up the two numbers, a and c, and then we use a function that is void sum calculate. Basically, it calculates the sum of two uh, numbers, that is A and C. A is public, so we can access it from anywhere inside the program. And protected, we can only access inside the child class, so we can accessing it through the child class. Then after this, we initialize the C value. Uh, you can have a question rises in your mind. Why we initializing the 12th inside the child class, not outside the main function, but we are initializing the a outside the main inside the main function. This is a one reason, because the only protected members can access inside the child class. Also, the initialization can be accepted inside the child class, not outside the child class. So just C is a protected, so it can be accessed, can be initialized inside the child class, not outside the main function. So simply we are initializing C is equal to 10, and uh, then using a sum, it is a public, and just we sum giving providing a sum of this a sum of A and C, that 12. And then we using the main function. We use the main function for calling of classes. In function, we use the function to we if you want to use a function inside the program, we have to call this function. Similarly, in the classes, we want to use the classes and find out the result from the classes. We have to make the object of their classes. So first of all, give the class name, the class, that is child. Then we have to identify the object name. You can name it any object name you want, but keep in your mind that the class name should be exact the name that is in the here. After that, the obj1 has the object is created. So by using this obj1, we can access any members, any function from the class. We use obj1, then we use dot, and we have to access the a variable. So simply I am going to access the a variable from here, then giving it a value of 10. Then I am initializing the value 10 to the this obj a variable that inside this class, that is public. So that's why, right, we cannot access the private class, private member, so it will be remain same here. We are not going to change the b. And then we using obj1. Basically, obj1, we can use the same object that we have created for the child class to the major class also. We using obj aim. So obj1 as an object and giving him a sum calculate. uh, basically we're calling a function that inside this child class with the name of sum calculate, just using a object and then using a dot. After dot, we using a sum calculate function name and giving it, telling him that this is a function and print out the result from this function. After that, we just printing out the obj1 dot sum that we initialize here, that is public, so we can access to the main function also. So simply see our function, it will print out the sum of 12 and sum of A and C also. After this, it will return, and return is 0 for no error. So simply I will compile and run again. You will see the output. The output is 22. Let's verify this output is correct or not. The A is 10. We know that A is 10 and C is 12. If we sum up these two numbers, then it will become 22. It means it is right. Let's try to access the obj1 dot B, and let's put it in the cout command. If I put it in a cout command, and you have to also give number to it, obj dot b equal to 9. Okay, if I write there, just I'm trying to access the private member, but it will show me error because private member cannot be accessed outside the class. Inside the main function, it cannot access inside the main function, so it will cause me error. So if I execute and compile and run, you can see the error. What is this error? Object was not declared in this scope. The M class B is private, so it's saying that B is private, so it cannot be accessed. So simply I will comment this out and write the comment here, so you can, if you check this report, you will understand why it's showing the error. I will write error here. Error, it's showing, sorry, it's showing the error because it is private member. Member, that's it. This is how the objects simulates. This is how that objects works and object and classes works and types of success specifier works. Let's move toward the slides, and let's read out the last slide. The slide, the public specifier can, this is a basic summary of the R specifier. You can check it out from the slide. That make easy to understand, easy to understand how it's works. We don't need to read the whole definition. By using a single two or three words, you can identify what this specifier is. Public specifiers that most commonly used public specifier most commonly used to most commonly access from anywhere inside the class. And private accessifier, basically it can only access inside the class, not outside the class, even not outside the derived class, not inside the derived class, but protected access inside the class also, and derived class also, like child class also. If you're writing any type of code, you want to use a specifier, you can choose on the basic of your need. On the basic of your program flow, you can choose what type of specifier you are going to choose. That is it for this video. If you found this video helpful, smash the like button and subscribe to CodeCracker for more C++ tutorial. And comment down below which access specifier do you see the use most. Use the most. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Keep cracking the code. Okay, Allah.